Henry Box Brown, Freedom's Package. Henry Brown was born enslaved in Louisa County, Virginia in 1815. He was enslaved for 33 years before escaping to Philadelphia. Although he married and had 4 children, he was unable to live with his family. His wife, Nancy, and their children lived on another plantation. Nancy was pregnant with their 4th child when in 1848, she and his children were sold to a plantation in North Carolina. After that, Henry acknowledged that through his faith in God, he was given the inspiration and courage to put together a creative plan of escape. Henry sought the help of his friend, James Caesar Anthony Smith, a free black man who, along with Samuel Alexander Smith, a white abolitionist, to assist him in his escape. The plan was to put Henry in a box and ship him as parcel post to Philadelphia. Samuel Alexander Smith contacted members of the Philadelphia Anti-Slavery Society. He then shipped Henry by Adams Express Company on March 23, 1849, in a box that measured 3 feet long by 2 feet 8 inches deep by 2 feet wide, and labeled the box as dry goods. Brown was nailed into his box and mailed to the office of Passmore Williamson, a Quaker merchant and active abolitionist. Brown traveled in the box lined with a coarse woolen cloth, carrying with him only a small amount of water and a few biscuits. There was a hole cut in the box for air, and it was nailed and tied with straps. In large words, "This side up" was written on the box. Brown traveled by a variety of wagons, railroads, steamboats, ferries, and finally a delivery wagon that brought the box to the Philadelphia Anti-Slavery Society before daybreak. The journey was physically exhausting and dangerous. During the 27-hour journey, Brown spent much of it on his head, upside down, despite the "This side up with care" memo on top of the box. After several hours of terrible pain, in which death seemed inevitable, Brown arrived at his destination. Upon arriving in Philadelphia, the box with Brown inside was received by abolitionists William Steele, James Miller McKim, Professor C.D. Cleveland, and Lewis Thompson. When the box was opened, Brown said, "How do you do, gentlemen?" Then recited the psalm, "I waited patiently on the Lord, and he heard my prayer." Shortly after his escape, after a short time in Pennsylvania, Brown moved on to Massachusetts, where he spoke at an anti-slavery rally in Boston. There he won the moniker Henry Box Brown. Brown continued to fight for abolition by publishing his own narrative and touring New England to promote it with anti-slavery lectures in the fall of 1849. After passage of the Fugitive Slave Act, Brown moved to England to avoid being captured and sent back to the South. He remained in England for the next 25 years, marrying and fathering a daughter despite criticism that he should have purchased the freedom of his first wife and 4 children. In 1875, Brown returned to the United States with his new wife and child. He performed as a magician to make a living. As part of his stage act, he emerged from the original box in which he had traveled to freedom. Henry Brown was a man who took courage and combined it with creativity. Brown was an abolitionist, a lecturer, and a performer. He had discovered that in order to survive in the free world, he had to reinvent himself. Much of what we know about him comes from his memoir, The Narrative of the Life of Henry Box Brown, written by himself in 1851. Until next time, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Press the bell to be notified of future uploads. Thank you for watching.